Hey everyone, it's Claire here today, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the best compatibilities for INFP personality according to my personal experience and research. So let's go ahead and get right into it. The best personality matches for INFP. So first things first, in my own experience, I have found that INFP tends to really be compatible with other intuitive types. So with the intuition, there is a strong connection because our minds think alike, which is so important in compatibility. There's endless possibilities for communication and having common interests and having a similar way of looking at the world and seeing things. So intuitive personality types often really match well with INFP for that reason. Now, that's not to say that INFP cannot have relationships with sensing types, because I'm not going to rule that out at all. But from my research and also personal experience, I have found that intuitives seem to match up really well together. Now, the next compatibility here is something that you can decide for yourself, and that is about having another feeler type personality. Now, you don't have to match up with another feeler, but I definitely think that if you are that emotional type, being with the sensitivities and you feel things so deeply, you could easily match up well with someone else who is similar to you in that way. Either if it's introverted within them and they feel things strongly and deeply like another INFP, or if they are very in tune with and aware of other people's emotion, such as someone who has an extroverted feeling and they are in tune with your needs and your feelings and they're empathetic and compassionate to you. So if having that is important to you, I would definitely suggest finding someone who also has that feeling characteristic, whether it's introverted or extroverted. So talking about my own experiences, I have had several different relationships and also friendship compatibilities with the following types. So a lot of my friends in the past have been ENFP personality. So they tend to match really well when I want to have, a fun, outgoing, but also very sensitive person in my life. The ENFP type makes a great friend for INFP for many reasons. They are very outgoing, they are very playful, they're very extroverted, and so they will pull the INFP out of their shell and make them feel comfortable, possibly going and doing social things together, going and having fun, having adventures, just living life with that enthusiasm and that excitement, and they bring out the extroverted side of the INFP as well, which is really great. So I've had a lot of great relationships with ENFP types. They are just so fun. They are also sensitive emotionally, and they have that carefree spirit and that free-spirited vibe that the INFP can definitely relate to and enjoy. And not to mention the deep conversations that you can have with an ENFP, and you can relate to them in so many different ways. The next personality type that I have found in my own life to be compatible has been the INFP. So INFP is another great compatibility with INFP, and this has been shown in research as well that INFP can match well romantically with another INFP. And this is because they are so similar. They have so many different compatibilities. You can relate to each other in terms of the intuition. You can relate to each other in how you see the world, in your values, in your morals, and being empathetic and caring for others, and just seeing things similarly. You will also share that feeling, so the introverted feeling. In my opinion, when you are with another INFP in relationship, you will have to make an effort to go do things, be extroverted. One of you, if one of you is more extroverted than the other, that can often be really great because you can actually kind of work together to be more outgoing and extroverted and go do things so that you're not constantly being in introvert mode. And another thing you guys can work together on is with your feelings. So as INFPs, you both have introverted feelings, meaning that you feel things so deeply, but you may not show that from the outside. So it might be difficult to read your other INFP, and it might be something that you guys can work and communicate on in order to open up and become more vulnerable, expressing your emotions and how you are actually feeling, and that will really help you with your personal growth so that you can openly feel and express and have someone else who's just so similar to you that they are also learning the same thing. But yes, in my opinion, the INFP combination with another INFP can be really successful for all of those reasons. Plus, you guys can both be adventurous and passionate and with similar goals, similar values. The next compatibility, which I see online all the time, which is apparently the best match in the world for an INFP, is an ENFJ. So the reason that these two are extremely compatible is because they have everything in the exact reverse of each other, which basically completes each other. I have had a few ENFJ relationships in my life, and I definitely think that there are a lot of compatibilities in terms of friendship or relationship with an ENFJ. So where an INFP may struggle to go do things, be extroverted, be energized, socializing, getting out, the ENFJ will give that opportunity to them. They are on the go, they are wanting to do things, they're social, extroverted, and they will pull the INFP out of their shell. Similarly, with the intuition, they both can be very compatible in terms of that intuitive way of seeing the world. And the way that they express this intuition will be different. So as an INFP, you will find yourself expressing and creatively revealing the way that you see the world, which can inspire the ENFJ because that is how they feel inside, and they just want a way to communicate that. And so to be able to find an INFP who is living that and who is expressing that is going to be so amazing for the ENFJ and so refreshing, because it's basically like, oh my gosh, this person understands me. The next thing that makes the ENFJ and the INFP compatible is, again, the feeling, where the INFP is introverted feeling, the ENFJ is extroverted feeling. So they are very compatible, and the ENFJ will be able to see and be aware and kind of work to open up the INFP in terms of vulnerability and expressing feelings, and it will overall just be very compatible. The last part between these two is the J, is the judging versus perceiving. So if you are an INFP, you know that sometimes you could get lost in your thoughts, you can get lost in your daydreams, and sometimes you want to take action, but you might not know how, or you might just kind of get into a bigger picture type thing, and you might not actually have the goals and doing the day-to-day grind, where the ENFJ can complement you because they can be very good at organizing, very good at planning and being methodical about achieving goals. So if you need help, you can just ask them and they will be able to help you in so many ways to complete your goals and your dreams. So they are a very great compatible match according to research and a lot of people online, as well as I have seen this in person with my relationships with ENFJs, that they can be very compatible. However, sometimes I find that ENFJ can somewhat be a little intimidating for an INFP in terms of how they're so on the go, they're so energized, they're so goal-driven, and so it's best if you go in this knowing what you're going to get out of an ENFJ, and likewise with the ENFJ, they have to understand you and how you have a different approach to things, and you guys have to just see how that can really end up benefiting you both. Now, there are a few other compatibility types that I have personally experienced that I will mention here: the ENTJ, the INTJ, and the INFJ. So I have had some relationships with these different personality types, and I will say that with these different personality types, you guys can really make things work. You can have a lot of similarities, but there will also be some differences that could be a little bit difficult for you to navigate through, and you really have to be at your best and your most willing to compromise and understand each other and be vulnerable, and be willing to grow and work and develop together. Personally, myself, I have not had any in-depth, deep relationships with INFJ, and that might just be because both are introverts, and so it might be hard for either of them to find each other or start interacting in general, but I will say that you probably could have a lot in common. With the ENTJ, you'll want to watch out for how goal-oriented they are, how they are just kind of no nonsense and expect you to achieve, and they are not going to let you achieve less than they think that you're capable of. So they're really going to push you. So if you're ready to be pushed to be and to achieve and do and really go for it, then that could be a relationship for you. However, sometimes they may not understand your feelings, and that could be a real issue between you. And also the fact that you kind of work at a different pace may frustrate them or make them think that you are not achieving things in the way that they would. So that's just something for you to think about. Similarly with the INTJ. So this one is just more introverted, but they will still have that drive and that goal-oriented nature. But you guys can still connect on a lot of deep conversations and maybe working together to fulfill each other's weaknesses and strengthen those weaknesses. So for example, they may need to become more aware of their emotional side. You may need to become more aware of your rational thinking, goal-oriented side. And so you guys could find a great match in those relationships. Now, lastly, I'm going to go over one sensing type that I have seen online as being potentially very compatible for INFP, and that is the ISTP. So the ISTP are going to be seeing things in a different way than you do because you are more intuitive and your mind just works in different ways. They're also not going to be as openly in touch with their emotions. However, you guys will both be able to be adventurous. Apparently, there's some sort of thing that draws these two together. A lot of times, the ISTP can feel very mysterious and very intriguing to an INFP, and the INFP will want to know and learn because INFP is so drawn to those things, those mysteries of life. They want to open things up. They want to understand things, including people. So the mysteries of the ISTP could really make the INFP intrigued. However, it could be difficult for you to make the ISTP open up to you, become vulnerable, become emotionally aware, things like that. They tend to hold things in. They just tend to not be as emotional as the feeling types. So if you are in a relationship or looking to get into a relationship with ISTP, I've seen that that is a possibility. Now, other relationships that you could possibly be in, don't limit yourself to this video. You know, we're all people and you can find different things that you love and enjoy and appreciate about so many different people. However, this video is just meant to give you kind of the best matches. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and also feel free to comment below if you guys have any input or other personality types that you find that you have matched with really well as an INFP. Also, please do like and subscribe to my channel for more, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys!